Welcome, 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 ladies and gentlemen, to another board game review, where today I'm going to be reviewing Cube Quest by Gamewright. Gamewright? Yes, Gamewright. It's a game about cubes, but they don't quest. So, in the box we get a handy little rule sheet, some advertising stuff, a sexy mat, and another sexy mat. More information on stuff and cubes. You get all the cubes. Who doesn't love cubes? Now the core gameplay is delightfully simple. Both sides have a king, and you win when you flick. If you can flick, you flick one king off the map, and that means you win. The way you do that is obviously you have your kings in wherever you want. You put a bunch of people down either side, and you just take it in turns, flicking. And flicking. And then they flick, and then you flick, and then they flick back. And then eventually the king dies and you win. Now that seems overly simplistic, but there's a few kind of exciting twists that make the game a lot more fun. First off, you have different types of cubes. And different types of cubes, I hear you say. Well, let me show you the sexy cheat sheet. We've got the king, who just is the king. You've got the striker. The secret skill about the striker is he only has one blank side. Now, blank sides. What are blank sides, I hear you ask? Well, if I flick into the enemy territory and I'm on my blank side, I'm captured and I'm out. They don't even have to flick me off. If I go in and I'm blank, I'm out. I've just gone. It's terrible, really. Strikers have less chance of doing that because your basic grunt piece, see, less chance, one in 6. Your basic grunt piece, you see, only has 2 faces. The rest of them are all blank. So your striker he's hard as nails, really. You've also got the helm. The helm gets to flick twice, as long as the first flick ends in your territory, so you can line up a shot and then go for it. You've got the skulk. He basically can just kind of disappear if you land uncaptured in their territory. You can just disappear and then turn up later. It's crazy. Your grunts are your grunts. You got healers that heal, and you got freeze blocks. Freeze blocks are great as well because enemy lands in your territory and you're like, no, don't do nothing with that. You're frozen. You can't flick him. Point one is quite fun. You've got pieces and they've got points cost, so you can have like a 20-point game and you can pick your points, that's point one. Quite interesting. That's point one. Point two that makes the game quite interesting. Although it looks really easy, right? That's there. This is there. That should be the easiest shot in the world. It's not. Because your instincts are to flick these things super hard, but they're like weirdly light and shaped, so your instinct is to flick hard, but unless you're really good, you're not going to do nothing with it. You're just not. It's really hard. They break my brain. They're really hard to use. So even though your king's here and theirs is there and you've got a grunt there now, it's hard. It's hard to do. So that's point two, why it's quite a fun and interesting game. Point 3, why it's a fun and interesting game. Your setup is hidden. You get your cube boxes on either side of the board. You place your pieces where you want them. And you go, oh, I'll put these here, Gonna make a big sexy tower here. And no one knows, and you're gonna hide your king behind some bits. And then they do the same, and then you reveal. So you might have this crazy setup and your opponent might have done something exactly the same as you and you're facing off against each other like fools. Or you might have gone for like a super sneaky side attack. Or you might go super defensive and just it's going to let you kill yourself. So that's point 3, why the game's quite interesting. It's kind of a game that rather than tells you, it just shows you. It's a game of show, don't tell. It shows you why it's fun. It shows you what's interesting about the game and you instinctively pick it up. You don't overthink it. You don't have to worry. You just get it. And you can play defensive battles. You can play aggressive battles. You can play weird, wacky, crazy battles where you buy a bunch of skulks and you sneak into the territory and then disappear. And you turn up right there and they're like, oh no, what am I going to do with that? It's just fun, it's just clever, it's just simple, and it's quite cheap, and it's accessible for all. If I was going to nitpick it, I'd say I'd like more pieces, more kind of cubes from a cube quest. I want different stuff. I'd also say there's a bit of me that gets quite irritated that the mats, they come quite bent and they store in the box quite bent, and I've ironed them out once and then they've re-bent, and part of me doesn't mind it because it is an extra challenge on the battlefield, but it's not the best. But ultimately, I can't complain. You want to have a fun drinking game with your mates, get this game out. You want to just, you know, play with younger people? Speaking of younger people, I hear my child. What do you think, little man? Cube Quest? Cube Quest for Baba? Would you like it? Yeah, I think he's going to love playing Cube Quest. So, if you couldn't tell, I quite like Cube Quest. It's a fun, decent little dexterity game, and it shows that games can be everything for anyone. Just because you say, I'm not a board gamer. You might be, you might just not like cards and dice and stuff. If you like the idea of this, but say it looks too damn simple, I'll say you're mad. But there is a game called Catacombs, which is like this, having a baby with D&D. You get kind of Catacombs. It's a nice kind of middle ground. Good level of complexity, good bit of dexterity gaming in it too. But yeah, Cube Quest, I highly rate it. It's on the eBays, on the Amazons, pretty damn cheap, pretty damn fun. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.